Drinking a cup of coffee is some people's fuel for the day, but only a few coffee drinkers realize the human cost to their caffeine fix. Coffee production is a bitter reality, from labor exploitation to inhumane working conditions and even child labor. That's why companies like Bridgeheads are more than a trend, a necessity nowadays to give these people a better human and quality of life. Good morning. We are the panoramic team confirmed by Jose Pablo, Leslie, Paola, and me, Carla, and we're going to give today the Breadhead some of the strategies that are going to help them achieve their goals.
Thank you, Carla. So, since its beginnings, the company has stood out for being socially responsible, taking care of everything from the sowing of its raw material to the sale of its products, and seeks to ingrain in its customers and employees a sense of belonging and community support.
For the industry, the barrier to enter them is minimal. There are many competitors such as St. James Coffee Bar and Wallace Espresso, among others. What makes the company stand out it is the social responsibility. Even though companies like Starbucks, Tim Hortons, and McDonald's are also certificate, we know that the essence of the brand is the big heart uh, that have to big sales.
Now, our teammate Leslie, we're going to give us some of the key takeaways to implement the strategy.
Thank you, Carla. Now we're going to talk about this strategy. So the first one is aggressively expand to Toronto. The second one is expand to neighborhood city. And the third one is the J-grade strategy. For this, we make this type of decision matrix. And we look the first strategy, aggressively expand to Toronto. We look as a big disadvantage to the next points. The first one, the financial risks that represent if the strategy do not get favorable results because there's not development market yet. The cost that it represents to immediately expand to the business. Third, the losses that can represent if there's an increase of COVID-19 cases. And as advantage that we can look here is if we have the money right now, can we start and look for the result in this moment? And the J-grade strategy, in the other hand, we look the less financial risk that the first one and a moderate cost with the most important factor there is the time, because it allows to control the financing. Second, and the losses that can represent if there's an increase of COVID-19 cases is less than the first strategy by getting through the online channel. And the third one is the cost that is staggered that allows to prepare the investment. So we go to the J-grade strategy.
Before we start, we know that there are some things that we can start doing right now to achieve some goals today, not only on the long term that the J grade strategy means. That's why there are a few recommendations we have for your brand. For example, and the first one is the new branding. Why? Because we know that most of our customers appreciate how their coffee was grown and not only the beverage itself. That's why we must show off your certification. We know you are a social responsible corporation and you know you have achieved a lot of stuff, and why not show them off? That's why we suggest that in your cups or in your napkins or somewhere you show like in a big way your certifications, just like when something is vegan and you can see it and you can understand it. That's why we must raise awareness about what does these certifications means, so that the customers look for them in our products and buy them. Another thing we suggest is that, well, we know that from all the time their social impact is something really important for you, and we know that we can like we care about giving to the community, but we also know that we can receive from them. That's why we have created some a strategy that aligns with the strategy that you already have of giving back the 20 cents of each purchase corporation or cause or something, a charity. But we're gonna make them like change each 2 months, and we base them on things like the Cancer Day, Earth Day, National Indigenous People Day, Canada Day, Back to School, or Christmas. Something that are happening in the community that might encourage people to help and make them feel part of the community. That's why we suggest some of these charities to improve this 20 cents return strategy. And lastly, we know that you have zero waste in coffee operations and that you give back your coffee grounds to use as a fertilizer, but we think we can do more. If we are going to be really a social responsible company, we can also uh, do something with our leftovers, with our surplus. And that's why we suggest the app Too Good to Go, which sells all the stuff that it's left from the day to the people that maybe want to save money or just want to help the environment. That's why we think apps like Too Good to Go are way better and go more with your vision of the market than stuff like Uber Eats or all of these kinds of companies. And well, now going into the J Gray strategy, we divided it in three steps. One, the wholesale distribution in local stores and also the online sales. Second, to analyze the market reaction before we enter to the next part. And last step is to actually open the toaster or the coffee shop. The first step is, well, we want to go to Toronto, we want to be known there, but you cannot enter nowadays. It's very risky to go to a city that's 400 kilometers away with more than 6 million of people and being unknown. That's why now that you are in where you are, you can start doing things to be known. Why? We went to your online store and we know that if you're from Toronto, you cannot buy the products. I think that's the first step we can do to being able to shop from Toronto and to have your products sent to your house. And another thing we can do is to start placing the products on your shelves. We know you are already putting effort to start being available on the shelves, but we must choose the correct ones. Why? Because we sell products organic, we sell stuff that you must be adapted to your customers. Stores like the big, like the carrot, the fresh city on our organic garage. That's the first step of our strategy. Now we're going to present you the second step.
Okay, for the second step, we want to make a plan of transportation route. So we will set the strategy alliance with Nationex, a transportation company that has electric trucks and which will allow us to keep our trust suppliers who are certificated.
And finally, the third step, we are already known in Toronto. People know our product, love our product, and we confirm it with all of our analysis or everything we did on the second step. Now we have our customers ready and everything ready, so we can start to have our roaster in there. Why a roaster? Because you can do all in there. It reduces cost, in enhances quality. You have a greater control in your sizes and logistics. Now you won't need a transportation, and you are able to open and supply the upcoming shops without need of bringing them from other cities. You will be producing your own coffee beans, and now you are ready to start being a huge business in Toronto.
Now, talking about risk and mitigation, we look these principal risks. The first one is the rises in COVID-19 cases, and we're going to make this mitigation with online sales, including Toronto area. And the second one is loss of brainhead since by the expansion, and we're going to mitigate this with detailed operation manual with job profile.
Thank you, Leslie. So now I'm going to talk to you about the costs of setting a coffee roastery in Toronto. According to the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board, the average commercial rent are 20 Canadian dollars per square feet, and the coffee roaster in Ottawa have 15,070 square feet. So you will have to pay 1,400 Canadian dollars per month regarding to the rent. Now, the cost of buying a new coffee roaster, according to the Coffee Roasters brand, Bellwether, and the SEA study that they made, the average cost of buying a new roaster. Can you change the slide, please? The new roaster will be 148,410 Canadian dollars. Also, regarding the salaries that you will need to pay, we know by Indeed that the average salary of a barista per hour in Toronto are $15.19, and approximately you will need to hire 6 baristas to completely run the roastery. So this means that you will need to pay approximately 21,874 Canadian dollars per month regarding your working salaries. So all of these costs give us that you will have 323,274 Canadian dollars of monthly fixed cost plus the initial purchase of the coffee roaster.
Now, talking about the impact, we are going to have the next one, controlling expansion in the way possible to reduce the strategy and the event of COVID-19. And we look another type of impact. So this is all for the team. Thank you.
Well, we know that if we do all of these strategies, we're gonna achieve what we search to have a good quality of life for the people and to be a big company and to, but most important, to stay loyal to our roots, to being a small-hearted but big company with big sales, but just keeping the simple part of a coffee shop. Thank you.
Thank you.